and Assalamualaikum. Today we will be having a forum on the topic of damage and failure in Toyota. Before we start, I would like to introduce the four panels that we have today. Miss Diana, Mr. Iqbal, Mr. Shahmi, and Mr. Said Amirul. So I would like to ask Mr. Shahmi, what is the damage and failure in Toyota?
Assalamualaikum. I'll be answering about the question, identify the damage and failure at Toyota. The first of a series of highly publicized Toyota automobile recalls in the United States stunned consumer in October 2009. Toyota announced a recall of 3.8 million vehicles in the United States, citing a potential problem with improperly placed or inappropriate floor mats under the driver's seat that might lead to uncontrolled acceleration in a varieties of models. The recall was prompted by a report of catastrophic crash in California in which a Lexus sedan accelerators become stuck, killing the driver. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration pressed Toyota to recall more vehicles and models after receiving more reports of accidental acceleration caused by sticky gas pedal. Despite Toyota's lengthy history of producing reliable, low-defect vehicles, media headlines and their overall timeless can influence public opinions of quality. The popular perception may differ from objective measure. In the instance of Toyota, there were clear signs that the company's product quality had slipped in the recent years. The improvement happens at a time when several of Toyota's competitors such as Ford, Chevrolet and Hyundai were delivering increasingly superior vehicles. And then, after reports of unintended acceleration in multiple vehicles, Toyota issued the recalls, the first two with the help of US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration with NHTSA. The first recall issued on November 2, 2009 was to address a potential trapping of the foot pedal while by an erroneous or out of place front driver's side floor mat. The second recall began on January 2010 after it was discovered that some crashes were not caused by floor mat invasion. This problem, dubbed sticking accelerator pedals by Toyota, was found as a possible mechanical sticking of accelerator pedals causing unintended acceleration. Toyota launched the procedure in their defect information report dated October 5, 2009, which was revised on January 27, 2010. Toyota issued a separate recall for hybrid anti-lock braking software, following the floor mat and accelerator pedals recalls. Toyota also had issued recall for about 5.2 million vehicles due to pedal entrapment or floor mat issues, and another 2.3 million vehicles due to accelerator pedal issues as of January 28, 2010. Both are applicable to about 1.7 million automobiles. Affected vehicles included Lexus and Pontiac model. Toyota expanded the recall the next day to include 1.8 million vehicles in Europe and 75,000 in China. By that time, Toyota had recalled a total of 9 million vehicles worldwide. As a result of accelerator pedal recall, sales of some recall models were halted for several weeks while replacement parts were obtained. Since 2000, there have been 21 deaths attributed to the pedals problem, but after the January 28 recall, fresh NHTSA reports raised the total to 37. Following the recall of announcements, which were prominently covered by US media, the number of purported victims and reported problems skyrocketed. However, the causes of individual claims were difficult to verify. The NHTSA, in partnership with NASA, released its finding into the Toyota Drive-by-Wire Throttle System study on February 8, 2011. After a 10-month investigation, NASA and NHTSA researchers discovered no electronic flaws in Toyota vehicles. The majority of the accidents were caused by driver mistake or pedal misapplication. Our opinion is that Toyota's faults were mechanical, not electric. The research said, sticking accelerator pedals and pedals stuck under the floor mat were examples. However, on October 24, 2013, a jury concluded in favor of Toyota, finding that unplanned acceleration could have been caused by flaws in the drive-by-wire throttle technology, also known as the electronic throttle control system (ETCS). Toyota does not follow best practices for real-time life extension software. According to Michael Barr of Barr Group, and a single bit flip produced by cosmic rays could trigger unexpected acceleration. Furthermore, the real-time operating system run times that was insufficient, and it was conceivable for the stack to grow large enough to override data, causing unintentional acceleration. As a result, Toyota has begun negotiation with the claimants. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the sharing, Mr. Shami. Now, I would like to discuss on the HR processes that contributed to Toyota's downfall with Ms. Diana. So the first question that I would like to ask is, were rapid growth, which is the sales that have nearly doubled recently, and lean cost cutting recognized and rewarded so heavily that no one was willing to put the brakes on growth in order to focus on safety? And were the rewards for the demonstrating error-free results so high that the obvious errors were swept under the table?
Thank you, Ms. Sabrina. In my opinion, yes, the rapid growth in sales are the reason no one wants to focus on the safety and only prioritize in making sales. And this is because of the rewards offered. Obvious errors are swept under the table so that the staff can gain the rewards. It is irresponsible to only focus on company sale rather than the safety of the vehicles, because the customer's life might be at stake. Moreover, according to Toyota's recent recall, the company is losing hundreds of millions per week, and in the following weeks, Toyota had lost about $30 billion in stock valuation. So, in my opinion, the rewards and recognition that are offered by Toyota are ineffective. It only caused the company to lose so much money at the end. It is a serious mistake that they ignore about the safety of the vehicles. The rewards offered made the staff blinded by greed that they only did not care about the most important thing, which is safety. This is highly suggested that Toyota creates a key performance indicator (KPI) for their staff in order to receive rewards. Toyota should be strict with the KPI. It should be balanced between the sales target and the safety. Staff performance needs to be monitored from time to time, and the staff that does not hit the KPI should not be rewarded and needs to undergo the intensive trainings.
The second question that I would like to ask is, if Toyota's training was more effective, would the managers involved have been more successful in convincing executives to act on the negative information received?
Yes, managers involved will be more successful in convincing executives to act on the negative information received if the training was more effective. Toyota does implement the 4-step plan, which are plan, do, check, and act. Human makes mistakes, so there will always be mistakes done by the staff in every company, whether it is intentional or unintentional. Trainings are needed to be equipped the staff so that mistakes can be minimized. Proper guidance needs to be given to every staff in the company. This will make the work process smooth and also reduce the loss of the money. Toyota is a well-known company that have a great influence on other competitors in the automobile field. They need to be the standard and a benchmark in order to maintain their reputation. Training is essential and important in any organization. Training is required to deliver new information or any new application implemented in the company. Toyota should train their staff effectively on skills, methods, and procedures. The training is effective when the staff are capable of solving any problem that arises and make little to no mistakes. The company is also responsible to give the proper instruction when training the staff. Other than that, training is done to discipline the staff and to avoid them doing their work recklessly. If the staff still repeatedly make mistakes after they undergo training, company needs to find other solutions and keep on motivating the staff.
Next, did Toyota have a poorly designed hiring process that allowed it to hire individuals who were not experienced in the required constructive confrontation technique, and were their highest poor learners that did not change as a result of company training?
In my opinion, the hiring process is not the issue because company will only refer to the candidate's resume when hiring them. The longer that they work in the company, the more the flaws that can be seen. Some people is fast learner and some don't. For the first learner, it is not a problem for them if they are inexperienced because they can just learn something new and practice it without any problems. But when the staff who is not a fast learner, it can cause quite a trouble because they take some time to catch up with new things. Nevertheless, it is crucial for Toyota to hire a professional and experienced. This is to make sure that the safety standard of the vehicles and to avoid accidents to occur when customers drive the vehicles. If Toyota pick the wrong candidates, the staff, it might cause the company to lose more money due to the mistakes that they might do. The company performance will do downhill and profit of the company might decrease day by day. It is important for the person in charge, which is the human resource manager, to analyze the best candidates and hire the best out of the shortlisted. By doing this, accident can be reduced, and company does not have to worry about the safety standard of the vehicle because the staff is skilled and professional.
And now I would like to ask, was the performance appraisals and performance monitoring process so poorly designed that they did not identify and report groupthink type errors? And did Toyota's famous high level of trust of its employees go too far without reasonable metrics, checks and balance? And did HR develop sophisticated metrics that produced alerts to one senior manager before minor problems got out of control?
Yes, the performance appraisal and performance monitoring process poorly designed, but it is also because of the staff that are too focused on making sales that they do not care about anything else. Other than that, Toyota's high level of trust of its employees did not go far that they would not do reasonable metrics, checks and balances. The company is aware of the mechanical failures and the corrective action is taken after. But the staff decided to hide the errors or the failures and the underlying problems that occur. This is wrong on so many levels because they does not follow the rules and regulations that have been obligated. It is also unacceptable that they does not obey to the job scope that has been assigned to them. This will cause so much trouble if the problem persists.
Next, did HR's failure to measure or monitor the corporate culture contribute to its misalignment? And was the corporate culture so biased towards positive information that employees learn not to make waves in spite of their professional responsibility to be heard on safety issue?
In my opinion, Toyota's inability to measure or monitor a corporate culture contributes to the company's misalignment. Toyota does not value corporate culture, which explains why this is the case. So the issue is too small for them. It should not be discussed in the office. Managers must keep an eye on their top employees to ensure that they are not working on their own whims. The company will suffer massive losses in the future as a result of non-structural jobs. Employees learn to keep their mouths shut about safety issues as a result of Toyota's bias toward positive information. Despite their professional obligation to be heard, corporate culture can help by informally motivating employees and encouraging them to adhere to the company's core values. As a result, training employees is critical so that they can overcome workplace problems. So, no matter how minor, workplace safety is important because it can help employees cope with the stress of the job. As a result, each employer must provide each employee with safety insurance.
Next question would be, was the leadership process at Toyota so outdated that it produced the wrong kind of leaders with outdated competency who could not successfully operate in the rapidly changing automotive industry?
In my opinion, Toyota's leadership process is so outdated that it has produced the wrong type of leaders with archaic competencies. Toyota's HR management as a case study is a poor choice. As a result of this cultural shift, the automotive industry will undergo rapid changes every year. Failure occurs when an organization is not kept informed of its progress, which is also true of its management style. Toyota leaders are aware of a mechanical failure before the best course of action is taken, and the fact that Toyota conceals this issue much earlier indicates that it is also attempting to conceal the truth in this case. This will only worsen if the leader takes a break from their responsibilities. However, they must collaborate and complete all assessments. The leaders serve as a role model for the rest of the team. HR at Toyota company must put in a lot of time and effort to be a good leader as they are all working together. Everyone in one team can receive clear instructions and make the best decision for the entire team. At a camp, for example, you can practice being a good leader. This will help you gain confidence in your ability to give instructions and make decisions. As a good leader, you must be truthful about your work, such as keeping secrets about your team's work, and this can result in a good leadership and succession to the Toyota company.
Next, did the retention program ignore people that brought up problems, and as a result, did these whistleblowers often leave out of frustration?
During this process, the retention program dismissed employees who caused problems for Toyota. Hence, the whistleblower quit Toyota due to dissatisfaction with the company. If HR want to keep a positive work environment, they must keep negative employees at bay. Determining whether a choice is acceptable also necessitates more discipline from human resources. As a result, employees must be truthful and accountable for their work. Hence, human resources must keep track of everything employees require. To resolve all of these issues, HR and employees must collaborate. A whistleblower is someone who provides information about a person or organization that is suspected of engaging in illegal or immoral behavior. In other words, because they have access to all of the company's information, this poses a serious threat to the company. If a company does not take problems seriously, they can become more difficult to resolve. Thus, HR must act quickly to identify and retain the best employees. As a result, the company will be able to avoid further losses and bankruptcy.
And last question for Ms. Diana. Should HR work with risk assessment experts and build the capability of identifying and quantifying the revenue impacts of major HR errors, including a high hiring failure rate, a high turnover rate among the top performers, and the cost of keeping a bad managers or employee?
If I were in charge of human resources, I would like to collaborate with risk assessment experts to identify and quantify the impact of various HR mistakes such as high hiring rates, high turnover rates among the highest ranking employees, and the cost associated with keeping managers or bad people on the job. Human resource professionals are more aware of what must be taken seriously and where their own weaknesses lie. Furthermore, based on this case study, Toyota's HR department should collaborate closely with the company's risk management team to ensure that employees receive exactly what they require, particularly in terms of workplace safety. From this study case, we can see that Toyota's human resources department needs to improve its employee selection and hiring practices. They will decide the company's market success and failures. Among the 8 HR processes are rewards and recognition, training, recruitment, performance management processes, company culture, leadership development and succession, retention and risk assessment. Employee relations must carry out all 8 processes flawlessly, and any flaws must be addressed. Depending on the outcome of this procedure, the organization may or may not have people who are available to the company. Human resource management must improve and guarantee that their organization has 8 process features in order to generate more profit. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the sharing, Ms. Diana. Now to Mr. Said, I would like to ask, what are the lessons learned that you can get from Toyota?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amir Rashid bin Said, student ID 62215121477. Lesson from the Toyota. Toyota Human Resource Department has a far broader duty than dealing with people as a stream of asset. Toyota considered the development of team members to be company primary competitive advantage, and because placing extraordinary people in the company, most important tasks, the organization's emotional attachment to that obligation have improved dramatically. This only takes a glance at the folks who pass through HR as managers to notice that something isn't quite right at Toyota. Director of organization, Vice President of Manufacturing, and several notable specialists on the Toyota operation scheme as have all worked in HR. HR manager must be specialist in operations since HR plays such an important role in developing employees who work in operation. Because lean management is a methodology for reducing waste, one of the primary targets for waste reduction is labor cost. One may assume that the primary motivation for using lean method is to reduce headcount. Toyota have unique perspective. People that have been properly trained in issue solving will first contain the problem to get production organized. Then, take the time to identify the fundamental cause of the problem and design and apply countermeasure. The influence of management attitude is pretty strong. First, there must be a standard so that team members are aware of variation as problem. Second, healthy training is required for team members to comprehend the idea. Third, team members cannot be afraid of getting into trouble if they reveal an issue. Fourth, team members must be trained in problem-solving technique. Fifth, team members must be motivated to assist the company in achieving its objective. The human resource standard is to uphold the company idea and collaborate with others to achieve the company strategic goal. The truth of the situation was that none of these goals was being met. There was plenty of evidence from corporate indicators to back up this up, including data from the hotline call, a regular opinion review, and team also site meeting. Now that the problem had been identified, it was time to put some effort to addressing it. Problems are frequently solved at Toyota by bringing together a cross-functional team and allowing them to use the problem-solving technique and empower them to make the decision necessary to resolve the difficulty. First, improve the collaboration between HR and production. Second, enhance the development of personal competencies. Third, HR data are incorporated into the each segment. Fourth, worker with more flexibility. Fifth, improve team member communication and access to HR. Sixth, make a list of the current member role. 7. Define HR primary responsibility and provide support to the organization as needed. 8. And last, work with the confines and of a budget. Finally, Toyota is made up of individuals, and humans are widely inconsistent from one person to the next. Despite remaining the same person through time, Toyota is a great example of a true effective learning operation. It is a success for both the company owner and the team member. It starts with the concept that people are the most important resource and that they must be developed, nurtured, and challenged. Human resource management is one of the most obvious and important responsibilities in a company since humans are the only competitive resource that can be replicated.
Thank you, Mr. Said. Now moving on to our last panel, Mr. Iqbal. I would like to ask, if your current position is HR expertise at Proton, what can you suggest to the management to improve working culture at Proton based on the failure at Toyota?
Thanks to our moderator for asking me this question. My name is Iqbal Naim Meghairuddin. According to the case study, Proton was most likely to be responsible for the harm that happened at Toyota. As Proton HR expertise, I want to provide several suggestions to management to enhance the company's working culture based on Toyota failure. In my view as HR expertise in Proton, what can I recommend to the management to improve the work culture in Proton based on failures at Toyota? The first suggestion is to take customer input seriously and to create development strategy based on customer satisfaction surveys. Customer feedback should also be included in the quality assurance and product development processes. The second point is Toyota must employ qualified employees. It's critical to recruit the right people in order to ensure that they will be able to tackle problems in the future. Hiring someone with a lot of experience is one of the strategies. They not only be able to finish the job, but they also save money on training. Furthermore, based on Toyota failure, as a Proton HR expert, I can advise management on how to enhance the company's working culture. When making choices, a strong people orientation appreciates people and believe that efficiency and quality promote organizational success and productivity. As a result, no company should take its quality procedures and system for granted. Even the most successful Toyota might collapse if not managed properly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the great sharing from all the panels. That is all for today. Assalamualaikum and have a good day.